Hi, my name is Jonathan Merrill, a current student in the Sports and Health Sciences Master's Program at American Military University. The class the presentation is for is Nutrition for Sports Performance, taught by Dr. Laurie Byerly. Today we're going to talk about some important points in gaining weight through weight training and proper diet. This particular presentation has been prepared specifically for high school baseball players who are 6 feet 2 inches, 175 pounds, who want to gain weight during the off season. During this video we will look at 1. The necessary steps for devising a training program, 2. The specific concepts to a weight training program, 3. The importance of a well-balanced diet including all food groups rather than overloading on protein-rich foods alone, 4. Weight gain on a cellular level, and 5. A look into nutritional supplementation. The layout to devise an efficient workout program for weight gain. There's certain things you want to do. You want to lay out certain steps including an acceptable purpose for gaining weight, calculating your average daily energy needs, checking your energy intake to see if it meets your needs, checking your living habits, setting a reasonable weight gain goal, which in our case for our ball players is 2 pounds per week of lean mass. You want to increase your caloric intake, start a resistance training exercise program, and take appropriate body measurements weekly. Another tip is to stick to whole or organic foods as much as possible, as they have minimal additives, and of course pure food has it's considered a whole food instead of adding hormones or preservatives that our body tends to store as toxins in our adipose tissue, our fat cells. I would suggest you eat fresh fish straight off the boat if it's possible. Go to your local fish market. You can shop at the local co-op where they have organic vegetables and fruits, or the organic section of the supermarket usually is a good place to go. All of these steps that I've outlined, with the exception of resistance training program and body measurements, have been completed by me and are available for your viewing on the daily report provided to you. Taking all this information and entering it into a database, whether it be a handwritten database or an online database such as NutriCalc, which is what I use to do your daily report. It helps to keep track of your diet and activity progression and to make specific nutritional adjustments as you begin to gain weight. Now, since I did not provide a training program for you, you'll have to get involved in an existing program or find literature to develop your own program in order to participate in an effective one that adheres to your goals and abilities. Resistance training practices the overload principle, in which the weight places a greater than normal stress on the muscle cell. This stimulates the cell to grow and become stronger in order to resist the increased workload in the future. Progression, another concept in resistance training or any kind of exercise training. Progression is the concept of increasing your resistance as your muscles become stronger. You don't want to stay at the same weight or the same load as you get stronger. For instance, if I'm bench pressing 135 pounds 12 times in 3 weeks, if I'm doing it easily 12 times or possibly 15 to 20 times, I want to maintain that 12 reps. So I want to increase, I want to progress in weight. Baseball specific exercises such as walking lunges, forearm workouts, shoulder exercises, and abdominal cable twists are important in the development of performance specific muscle groups. Now this is just mentioning a couple. It's not limited to those 4. However, it defines specificity for your respective sport. Periodization is another important concept in the program. It refers to the increase or decreases in workout intensity depending on the athlete's ability and needs. For instance, if you're training for a 56-game schedule during a college baseball season, during the off season you're going to want to train yourself to go for a 75-game season. So you want to increase the intensity of your workouts so that you don't get fatigued later on in the season. For instance, for increase in muscle size, hypertrophy, which is defined as increase in muscle size, a higher volume multiple set ranging from 6 to 12 reps for each set is suggested. Anything higher than that works on endurance. Anything lower than that is more for power or strength. Recovery period is pivotal. Lifting weights is maybe 10% of the process. The rest of it is consisted of diet and recovery. Your body can't grow unless you feed it, and your body can't grow unless you rest it. So your recovery period is very important to increasing lean mass and strength. Now I'm going to go through the first day of a 3-day meal plan, and I want you to try to catch on to the point I'm trying to make as I go through it. I'll explain it to you after we've gone through the entire day. Again, these meal plans have been analyzed by NutriCraft online nutritional database. Okay, so starting early in the morning, 6 a.m., we're going to wake up, and we're going to have 1 cup of raspberries and 3/4 cups of almonds with a 16-ounce glass of water. Now I want to emphasize portion control. That's about a handful of raspberries. Now, if you were to reach in and grab more than that, it's fine. If you want to grab a little less than that's fine. That's about a cup. That is actually a little bit more than a cup. And then we're going to do 3/4 cups of almonds. So you can buy packaged almonds that are raw and unsalted. Make sure they're raw and unsalted. This is going to provide you with your vitamin B, your vitamin B complex. This is going to provide you with your fibers and some sustenance to get through the first couple hours of the day. So a cup of that, 3/4 cup of that. Now 16 ounces of water. This is a standard bottled water. It's Nestle Pure Life Splash. All right. And this is a standard beer mug really, but we'll pour it in so you can see exactly what 16 ounces looks like. Okay. This is 16.9 ounces. That's about 15.5 ounces. Okay, so about that size of a glass of water early in the morning. First thing you do when you wake up is get you some fruit, get you some nuts, chug some water, take a shower, brush your teeth, get ready for the day. 2 hours later, 8 a.m., you're going to fix an omelet. Now, I love eggs. I love whole eggs. I can't stand egg whites, but all the nutrition, all of the vitamins are in your yolk. So your mushroom omelet, and you can buy packaged mushrooms. You're going to do a 1-egg omelet. Now you're going to see as we go through these 3 days of meals that we're not going to overeat at any specific meal, but we're going to eat a little bit and stay hungry throughout the day. And we're going to be eating 6 to 7 times a day. So don't worry, you're going to get fed. All right. So you don't have to make an omelet necessarily. You can put it in the frying pan and scramble it if you want, but add some mushrooms, half a handful of mushrooms added in there. I don't recommend adding any salt. If you do, use sea salt instead of regular sodium that we've all grown up with. Okay, you're going to add 1 English muffin with or without jam, no butter, just jam, regular organic jam, blueberry, strawberry, whatever you want, but make sure it's organic, all natural jam instead of the jelly for your English muffin, for any spread that you use jam on. Okay. Now to drink with all this, we're going to have 12 ounces of orange juice. Now this, Simply Orange, it's not the best choice for orange juice. You can find better choices for orange juice. The reason I got this is because it is approximately 12 ounces. So this is your portion size. That's how much orange juice you need to have in the morning. Okay, so that is your main breakfast meal. You got your nuts, berries, and water for as soon as you wake up. You got your small breakfast meal, and then between breakfast and your lunch meal, you're going to have 10 a.m. snack time. Now on day 1, you've got these power bars. Okay, now they have power bars that are 25 to 30 grams of protein, and they've got these that are only 10 grams of protein, but they've got a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of other nutrients in them. So 2 power bars, preferably the ones with carbohydrates and low protein, and another 16-ounce bottle of water. Okay. Now for your lunch meal, you can either buy a whole sack of potatoes and cook them yourself. I like to get these individually wrapped ones because they're cheap, and you don't have to worry about washing them or getting, they're pre-rinsed, so you don't have to worry about pesticides on them or anything like that. So A lot of the stuff you're going to see, you're going to say, oh man, I don't know if I can do it in an oven. If you don't know how to cook, I'm sure you know how to use a microwave. This is all microwavable. All you got to do is put a slice in it, squeeze the ends, and it'll open up the middle. Stick it in the microwave for 2 or 3 minutes, let it cook up. And then once it's done, you can sprinkle some cheddar cheese on it. Again, stay away from the butter. That's empty calories, a lot of fat content. So that, you can also do your eggs. You can put your eggs in a bowl, stir it up with the mushrooms, put it in the microwave. It'll cook it, I promise. I've done it before, I did it all through college. Okay? So you got a baked potato with some cheese. You have 1 cup, again, get your measuring cup out. You're going to put 1 cup of brown rice, not white rice. 1 cup of brown rice into water. You can microwave it in the water. Make sure the water is resting above the top layer of rice when you start cooking. 1 slice of toasted bread, wheat bread or whole grain bread. Now, instead of using jam for this, we're going to use honey, pure clover honey. Okay. Now, I have on the paper here 1 tablespoon of honey. So you fill up the tablespoon of honey, and then you drizzle it on the toast. Now, this isn't toasted, but once it's toasted, it tastes really, really good. Okay. 1 slice of mozzarella. Now, I buy this big chunk of mozzarella, and this is 12 servings of mozzarella cheese. And usually they're pre-sliced, and you can just open the package and pull out slices at a time. So 1 slice of that. 1 slice is usually, if you can see my hand, an end cut is probably about that. That's about 1 slice on this clump of mozzarella. Okay. 200 grams of leaf spinach. This is 200 grams, or this isn't 200 grams. 200 grams is, open this up, grab a handful, put it on a plate. That's approximately 200 grams. You'll find that when you grab spinach and put it on a plate, it tends to expand. So don't, unless you're really hungry for spinach, be careful on how much you grab. Just a regular handful, put it on a plate, it'll be good to go. Now, as you're dressing for your spinach, instead of a balsamic vinaigrette that they claim to be so healthy for you, we're going to use pure olive oil. 1 tablespoon of pure olive oil, drizzle it on your spinach, and that's your dressing. That is your salad. Now, I've found it really nice to, if I have, instead of 1 piece of toast, 2 pieces of toast, I put the honey on the toast, I put the mozzarella on the honey, then I'll put the spinach with the olive oil on the spinach and make a mozzarella spinach sandwich. It's really, it really is surprisingly pretty good. So, and then your standard 16 ounces of water as your drink for lunch. All right, so we're halfway through the day. 2 hours later, because that was a larger meal of the day, it wasn't big, you're probably still going to be hungry after that meal. But again, 2 hours later, power bar and water. That's your 2 p.m. snack. Your 4 p.m. snack, we're going to go back to right when you woke up, your berries, nuts, and water. We're going to do, instead of raspberries, we're going to do a cup of blueberries. So get your measuring cup. And once you get used to what it looks like and what it feels like when you grab them out of the box, you can put the measuring cup away. You won't need it anymore. So blueberries, again, 3/4 cups of almonds, prepackaged almonds. And then your standard cup of water, 16 ounces, or bottle of water if you prefer bottled water. All right, now, dinner time, we're going to go with penne pasta, 250 grams, or approximately 2.5 cups. So your measuring pitcher, that's 2 cups. Right here is 2 cups. You fill it up to the top of the Pyrex, right there. Okay, put that, boil it in water till the pasta gets nice and soft, and then if you want to season it with any spices, you can go ahead, but we're not going to use any sauce, so keep that in mind. In addition to that, now I cheated and I got Lux black beans in the can. Okay, now you can buy black beans and boil them yourself and cook them yourself, and I would recommend that. For time's sake, I went ahead and cheated, and it's not terrible to cheat. You're a high school kid. It's not going to hurt you all that bad. Just keep in mind that whole food's better. Okay, cook it yourself if you can. So you're going to do 1 cup of black beans and 2.5 cups of pasta. This is going to be your biggest meal of the day. Okay, 1 cup of freshly cut baby carrots. Baby carrots, you can put them in your measuring cup if you need to. And then 1 cup of fresh broccoli. So we are really loading up on vegetables, as you can see, in all 3 meals, as well as fruits in the snacks. Okay, again, we're going to do 1 sliced toast with honey spread on it. And that is dinner. That's dinner, and then you drink your bottle of water with dinner, and that's it. Okay. Now the next 2 meals, the next 2 snacks throughout the day are peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Now this is going to give you a little bit more protein later on in the day. Again, whole foods. So you saw before the blueberry jelly. This is the strawberry jelly, all natural, organic, whole food, along with all natural organic peanut butter. Now, this is an acquired taste. It's not like Jif or Peter Pan. You have to stir it up and get used to the taste. It's not the same, so prepare yourself. Alright? Again, in your bread, use whole wheat or whole grain toast, and then 12 ounces of organic milk. Okay? Now this really is organic. I really, after taking this class, I switched to drinking only organic milk just because in our textbook it said that some athletes have a problem with the sugars in regular milk. So I switched to organic milk, and I really have seen a difference in my stomach's reaction to drinking dairy. So organic milk along with peanut butter sandwiches, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night, and that is day 1. Now, what you may have noticed is there's no protein supplementation and there's no meat included. I am not a vegetarian. I never plan on being a vegetarian. I enjoy eating meat, but this is just proof that you can consume all 100% of your daily protein recommendations through vegetables, legumes, fruits, pastas, grains, your oils. You can get all of your nutritional value in a balanced day's meals. You can get through food without a heavy protein content. Now, in contrast to that, instead of having 250 grams of penne pasta or a cup of brown rice in addition to a baked potato, in order to get my protein, I could eat a piece of meat the size of an ice cube, and it has 7 grams of protein in a meat the size of an ice cube. So it's a give and take. So people who are vegetarians have to work a little harder to get all their proteins. There's 20 in the protein we take in order for us to, and I'll get into this later in protein synthesis. In order for our body to complete protein synthesis, there are 20 amino acids needed in the body at any given time to complete the process. So 9 of those are essential, meaning we can't synthesize them ourselves in our body. Our bodies cannot produce them on their own. So we have to ingest them. And in meat, in 1 serving of meat, you get 100% of those essential amino acids the body needs in just 1 serving of meat. Now, it's because meat offers what we call a complete protein. Vegetables, dairy, grains, they don't offer complete proteins. They offer incomplete or partial proteins. So we have to combine them. That's why there's so much food here. We have to combine them to get our complete proteins in order to complete the protein synthesis. Okay, so that is day 1. That's an explanation of why there is no meat, with the exception of the 1 egg. I consider that dairy anyways. So yeah, we're going to move on to a couple more points that I want to hit on, and then we're going to finish up with day 2 and day 3 of the meal plan, and we're going to add some meat into the diet. And I want to again go through portion sizes so that you don't overeat or over supplement yourself. Okay. All right, I want to go into the importance of other foods as well as protein after your workout. Now, you're working out either in the morning or at night, or possibly during a gym class at school. So it's all going to depend on when you work out. I would rather you work out either in the morning and eat directly after, or work out at night and eat dinner directly after you work out. But I want to go into the importance of other foods as well as protein for your recovery and for your refueling, if you will. First of all, muscle glycogen is the carbohydrate form of energy in your muscle cell. So when you eat a carbohydrate, you replenish your glycogen stores that are depleted during an exercise or during your workout, whether it be cardiovascular resistance training. Proteins are made up of amino acids, and during protein synthesis, we'll get into protein synthesis later on and give you an idea of what it is. During protein synthesis, proteins are broken down into amino acids that the body uses for protein synthesis, in which the skeletal muscles cells repair damaged amino acid chains. So when you work out, you disrupt and damage the proteins inside your cells. So the protein that you ingest or consume goes into fixing that. Okay, and we'll go into that further later on. Your dairy products that you consume are a major supply of calcium, which is for your bones, and riboflavin, which is important for the formation of enzymes involved in energy production from carbohydrates and fat in the cell. So your dairy, that's your dairy, and then your grains include your fiber, your iron, and your B vitamins. Your B vitamins are what I like to call brain food and have a major neurological effect on muscles, something that it's extremely important in getting stronger and becoming an athlete, because it helps you to develop muscular coordination and the activation of dormant muscles and the recruitment of different muscle fibers and motor neurons and motor units in your muscles. So, and that's all. You can Google it if you need to Google it. I'm not going to get into that right now. Fruits and vegetables include our vitamin A, essential in proper bone development. Fiber and vitamin C. Vitamin C is not only used for your immune system, but it's also essential in connective tissue development. So all your ligaments and tendons really rely on your vitamin C, and you can't get that. Your major source of that is your fruits and vegetables. So keep that in mind. You know, people like to cheat on their fruits and vegetables, but they don't realize that even though your muscles are growing from the protein and your glycogen stores are repaired from your carbohydrates, if you're not intaking a lot of vitamin C, then your tissue, your connective tissue could be damaged, or it may not be as strong as it should be in order to support the muscles and the growing bones. So keep that in mind for your fruits and vegetables and your vitamin C. Your oils, your fish oils, your nut oils, your olive oil, they provide vitamin D, which is essential in bone development. That's why you see a lot of dairy products enriched with vitamin A and D, because they're those two vitamins, along with calcium, all work together for your bone development and bone repair. So that's vitamin D. Vitamin D is also the only vitamin that has hormonal properties. It's linked to depression. So you know, a lot of people that are sun deficient or vitamin D deficient, they have it more often than not. They have a depression problem. So besides that, vitamin E is the only major thing left. Vitamin E is great for your skin, but it's also an antioxidant. So it helps you in your recovery. It helps you prevent soreness. It helps to keep you fresh and ready to do the next workout, especially if your workouts are spaced close together. Nutrient timing is also very important. So what I said before is I wanted you to eat either directly after in the morning or directly after at night, directly after your workout. It's recommended to consume protein in a balanced meal immediately before or after exercise. I suggest, again, that you do it after the workout, because when you disrupt the proteins and deplete the muscle glycogen in the cell, like I mentioned earlier, you do that by working out or exercising in general, in a moderate to high intensity, you'll do that. The cell is primed for protein synthesis and ready to receive the nutrients from a balanced meal. So it's feeding the machine basically. So you put a stress test on your muscles and your bones. As soon as that happens, your body's primed for the nutrients to come in. If you don't feed it, you don't feed it. They don't recover. Protein synthesis is not, the rate of protein synthesis is not great at all. It's actually below average. So eating directly after or within an hour of your workout is pretty important. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to day number two. Now we've added some meats. You'll notice that what I showed you is going to be bigger. So keep in mind that we're portioning our meals. So again, we're going to wake up at 6 a.m. And we're going to eat fruits and nuts. This time, instead of raspberries, we're going to go to blackberries. And I got rid of the measuring cup because handful is a cup. Just remember that. Handful is approximately a cup. Unless you have really big hands or really small hands, then you have to adjust accordingly. Use your measuring cup. So you got blackberries. You got 3/4 cups of almonds again. Another handful of almonds, or less of a handful of almonds. Okay? So you eat your fruit, eat your nuts, you chug your water at 6 a.m., you're ready to go. 2 hours later, 8 a.m., breakfast has changed from the scrambled egg or the omelet to your fiber. Oatmeal. 1 cup of oatmeal. 2 slices of whole wheat or whole grain bread. Okay. You're going to use the all natural jam for your spread on your toast. And again, 12 ounces of orange juice. Okay. So that's your breakfast. That's your main meal at breakfast. 2 hours later, again, we're going to go to your power bars. So load up on your power bars. You're going to get a lot of them. Power bars, and I didn't get any Gatorade, but it calls for Gatorade. And a regular 16-ounce bottle of Gatorade is fine. You can choose the flavor. Doesn't matter. You can get the G-Force ones or the regular with all of the added sugars and salts and all that stuff. So for lunch, the 12 p.m. meal, we are going to have a 6-ounce grilled chicken breast. Okay. Now this is a pack of chicken breast. Serving size is 4 ounces, and there are varied. So we'll say that one of these breasts is 6 ounces, because about half that's 4. So we'll say one chicken breast is 4 ounces. Now again, you don't have to use an oven. You can take them all out at once and put them all in the microwave, cook them, and then eat them throughout the next couple days. It won't hurt you. I've done it. It's okay. Or you can take one out and then freeze the rest of them and microwave it one at a time. It's up to you. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to have 2 cups of whole wheat spaghetti. So here I got Healthy Harvest all natural whole grain spaghetti. 2 cups of it, cooked in water without pasta sauce. So again, season it as necessary. If you do use salt, use sea salt. I would recommend not using any salts, and if you want to use some spices, Italian spices, oregano, whatever you want to use is fine, but try to stay away from the salt as much as possible. 200 grams of leaf spinach. So again, here's our bag of baby spinach. Grab a handful of it. That's about 200 grams. You're going to mix in with this baby spinach 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, okay, which is a little less than a handful of those, and 1 cup, celery, okay, 8 4-inch strips of celery. So this is about 8 inches. You're going to get 4 of those, cut them in half. That's your celery. You can, well, I know ranch and celery sticks they go hand in hand. If you can stomach eating celery by itself, do it. If you have to have something on it, low-fat ranch if you have to. Okay, it's an option. I would rather you not. It's better for you if you don't. Okay, and then 200 cans of cooked green beans. All right. Now I cheated again. All right. So now they give you directions on a lot of these. They'll give you directions on. They'll give you nutrition facts on drained or undrained, and the sodium content is always a lot more when it's undrained. So pop the top, push it down, drain the water out, and it usually decreases the sodium content by at least 50 to 60% just by draining the water out. And then you can refill it with fresh water and drain it again, and it'll decrease the salt content even more. So this is a serving size half a cup. We're going to do a cup of these, so about 2/3 of that can is going to be one serving for our lunch. All right, 2 slices of French bread. Okay, now you can toast this if you want, toast them, and we're going to as our seasoning for this, we're going to put some Parmesan cheese on it, or some shredded mozzarella or shredded cheddar, and you can melt it on there if you'd like. That's up to you. But we are calling for cheese for the French bread in this instance. And then for our drink, 8 to 12 ounces of organic milk. Okay. Again, when you mix the vegetables with the spinach, 1 tablespoon of pure olive oil, drizzle it on there, and that's your salad dressing. All right, 2 hours later, again, we're going to the power bars. Okay, energy, carbohydrate energy, and we're going to take a standard 16-ounce bottle of water, and that's going to be your drink. That's going to be your 2 p.m. snack. At 4 p.m., we're going to do our first thing in the morning thing. 4 p.m. is 1 cup of fresh strawberries. So now it depends on what size strawberries you get. You know, if you get all large strawberries, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 strawberries. If you get smaller strawberries, probably 7, 8, maybe 9 strawberries. So that's going to be about 1 cup of strawberries. And then again, 3/4 cups of almonds for your fiber and your sustenance to get you through the next couple hours. And your drink is 16 ounces of water. Dinner time, 6 p.m. We have, now, meat ravioli is impossible to buy. I can't find it anywhere. Impossible to buy frozen, and so you can cook it yourself. So I cheated. Chef Boyardee. Okay. Now it says 250 grams. This is serving size 1 cup is 260 grams. So half of that. So you're only getting half of that can for your serving for dinner. Okay. So it's not too terrible. And 1/2 cup side of baked beans. So you got a 1/2 cup right here. Is about that much of baked beans. All right. So get 2 little side dishes out for those 2 items. Instead of using spinach this time, we're going to use heart of romaine lettuce. All right. A lot of nutritional value in romaine. Carbohydrates with fiber. Not as good as spinach, but just so you know that you can switch it up. You can use kale too. Kale is very good. Just try to stay away from iceberg lettuce. There's not a whole lot of nutritional value in it. Alright, so with the romaine lettuce, we're going to do a 1/2 cup of sliced cucumber. Now, a large cucumber sliced up is a 1/2 cup in a measuring glass. This is not a large one. Actually, if you were to cut 2 of these up, it probably would be 1/2 cup. Maybe 1 1/2, it would be 1/2 cup. So keep that in mind for your portion size. And then we're going to get a little bit more specific with the carrots. Okay, along with your sliced cucumbers, you're going to have 10 baby carrots. 10 freshly cut baby carrots. I'm going to add them to the heart to romaine. And again, you're going to use your pure olive oil as your dressing for that salad. Alright. Again, for dinner, we're going to have 2 slices of French bread. You can put cheese on it if you'd like. And then your 8 ounces of 2% enriched with vitamins A and D whole milk. And that's dinner. Now, because that was quite a bit more food than the first day, and it was a lot more heavier. The foods were a lot more heavy than the first day. So instead of eating at 8 and 10 o'clock on the night of day 2, we're only going to eat at 9 o'clock p.m. day 2, and all it's going to be is your organic peanut butter spread on 1 slice of whole wheat or whole grain toast with a glass of water or a bottle of 16-ounce water. Okay, so that's day 2. And we'll get into day 3 here in a minute. I want to go through one more or a couple more points before we go on. Our next topic is learning how the cell reacts on a cellular level, I want you to understand it. So it helps with your understanding of why you need to intake the different nutrients. Okay. Learning how the cell reacts during weight training helps to understand the importance of refueling with nutrients and achieving muscle hypertrophy. Muscle hypertrophy means increased muscle size by definition, and is directly affected by the body's ability to complete protein synthesis. Resistance training disrupts and damages proteins within the muscle cell, priming it for protein synthesis and glycogen synthesis. So muscle glycogen with the carbs, protein synthesis with the amino acids and proteins. The two elements, actin and myosin, are synthesized by the body during this process to repair and reinforce muscle tissue. So when you go through muscle, when you provide the proteins and the amino acids and the muscle glycogen, your body will synthesize actin and myosin, and when the body heals, actin and myosin are actually the elements that fix the cell, and it will actually add layers of actin and myosin to make it thicker and stronger, so that the next time you put a load on it, it's more resistant to it, more resistant to the load. It reinforces the muscle tissue. Muscle hypertrophy can be achieved by the cell increasing in size. Myofibrils, which are the components that make up a muscle fiber, myofibrils may multiply. Connective tissue may increase in size or thicken. So remember your vitamin C, how important your vitamin C is to your connective tissue and muscle size. Cells may increase its content of enzymes and energy storage, enlarging the overall size of the cell. So muscle hypertrophy can be achieved in several ways. Also aiding in weight gain is the stress tests on the bones, resulting in an increase in bone density with calcium and vitamin A and D. So remember, vitamin A and D, along with your dairy products, all those together, every time you do a weight training program, you stress test your bones, you get little micro fractures in your bone, and when it repairs and uses the calcium and vitamins A and D, it makes it denser. Okay, it helps to repair the bone. Same concept as with muscles when they recover stronger and recover thicker. Continuous resistance training increases muscular coordination neurologically. Again, I said I wasn't going to get into this very much because it has to do with motor units and motor neurons and signals from the brain through the spine into your muscles. But it enables the athlete to perform certain movements quickly and forcefully without the constant monitoring of proper mechanics. Does that sound familiar? In other words, what we know it as, muscular coordination has a significant effect on what we have been taught as muscle memory. Alright, day 3. We're going to get into day 3, and then we're going to get into supplementation, and then that's going to be all for the day. So, day 3 is, I'm not going to pull out the food, but I'm going to go through it real quick. Again, for breakfast is your berries, your almonds, and your 16 ounces of bottled water. Your 8 a.m. you're going to go back to the eggs. Your 1 scrambled egg with no mushrooms this time. 2 slices of wheat toast with jam for spread. And again, your orange juice. Okay. Guess what happens at 10 o'clock? 2 power bars and a glass of water. Now, for 12, your noon meal, instead of chicken, we're going to do fish fillet. I put down tuna. Honestly, I like tuna the best because I know that I can get it fresh off the boat and I can eat it raw. I love to eat tuna fish raw because I know where it's coming from. I know that it hasn't been shipped to a packing plant and then sent back, and I know that I don't have to worry about any bacteria on the meat. So, like I said before, if you can go to a fresh fish market and get it off the boat, get it off the boat. Or a food co-op, or the fresh market at the grocery store. Okay. Instead of a baked potato this time, we're going to do 1 medium baked sweet potato, and you have the option of putting cheese on it. Forget the sugar and the cinnamon or butter or whatever you put on it. Sweet potatoes are actually very, very sweet without any additional seasoning. So put some cheese on it. If you want to put cheese on it, eat sweet potatoes the way they are. It's good for you. 200 grams of leaf spinach, again, a handful of spinach with olive oil dressing. And we're going to use grated mozzarella cheese. So shredded mozzarella on top of the spinach for your topping. 2 slices of wheat bread or grain bread with honey spread. Okay, we're going to use honey as our spread. And then 2 slices of French bread again. Okay, so a lot of carbohydrates, but a lot of protein in that 6 ounces of fish. All right. 2 hours later, again, 2 power bars, and this time again a Gatorade instead of the water. You can put some electrolytes back in your system. 4 o'clock p.m. Raspberries, almonds, and your water. 6 p.m. We did chicken, we did fish, now we're going to do steak. You're not going to see me put pork on any of this diet because pork is very high in fat content, and I've heard horror stories about people pouring Coca-Cola on a slab of ribs and watching worms grow out, and since then I haven't eaten pork. And I hope that what I just told you ruins pork for you. Don't eat it. It's the bottom of the barrel when it comes to meat. Stick with your seafood and your lean meats, and occasionally eat a steak. Stay away from pork. So an 8-ounce broiled sirloin steak is what we're going to have for dinner. Again, you don't have to broil it. You can stick it in the microwave. Just remember, when you stick your meats in the microwave, that microwave will dry them out. So put it in a bowl or a plate, put water on it or around it, and then cook it and let it'll act like it's being broiled in the microwave. But it keeps the moisture in the meat, so it does not like chewing on a tennis shoe when you pull it out. 1 baked potato with a half a cup of grated cheese, mozzarella, cheddar, or whatever kind of cheese you want to put on it. Mozzarella is the best just because it's made from skim milk. It has low fat content. Half cup slice of cooked carrots, and half cup cooked of green peas. So you can cheat. You can get one of these, but with the peas and carrots, you know, the diced carrots and the half cut or the peas. Just remember that once you drain the water out, it cuts the sodium content down. The sodium's in there to preserve it. So once you open it up, you can get rid of the sodium. Pour it out, fill it up with fresh water again, dump it out. Do that a couple times, maybe 3 times. Limit the sodium content in the food, and it's better for you. 2 slices of French bread for dinner, and then a bottle of 16-ounce bottle of water. All right, and then again, we're not doing it 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock because of the density of the food we ate, the nutrient density of the food we ate, the meats. Instead of eating at 8 and 10 like we did the first day, we're only going to eat at 9. And at 9 o'clock, we're eating 2 whole wheat English muffins by themselves with a 16-ounce bottle of water, and that's the 3rd day. And that's it. I want to get into dietary supplements for muscle growth real quick. It's a common misconception that you have to take protein shakes before you wake up or after you wake up, before you go to sleep, and right after your workout, and it's not the case at all. The one thing that has been proven to be effective is creatine. Servings of creatine. It helps to increase the cellular size, the muscle cell size. The theory behind it is it hyperhydrates the muscle cell, and in doing so, it sends a signal saying that it's ready for protein synthesis, and it raises the rate of protein synthesis. It increases muscle mass and strength. So that's the theory behind creatine, and it works. It's actually one of the only supplements that doesn't have any adverse side effects, rather besides the water weight loss when you decide to not take it anymore, but you still retain a lot of strength and size. Amino acids, if you're not eating complete proteins like you in meat, if you're a vegetarian, remember you have to combine different food groups to get your complete protein. So If you need an amino acid supplementation, go for it. Just remember that there is a daily recommended dose. Don't overdo it because it's not doing any good. And some nutrients that are added in protein, like this protein right here, has an amino acid table. But also in the nutrition facts, if I were to go solely on the nutritional value, the daily value of the amino acids, I might overdose myself on other minerals and nutrients. And it could, your liver and your kidney, you can only keep up for so long before they start storing it or before it starts affecting them. So keep that in mind. It can all be avoided with a balanced diet. So just try to eat healthy before you start supplementing yourself. Vitamins B12. I take a B complex vitamin in the morning, just for brain food to keep me alert and to wake me up a little bit. That with a cup of coffee, I'm ready to go. Minerals such as chromium, vanadium, and boron. These are all good vitamins and supplements for muscle growth. So again, if you have to supplement. But if you don't have to, if you can maintain a healthy diet, I suggest you maintain a healthy diet. Now, there's a rumor going around, or it's been around, that this nitric NO3 formula for the pre-workout supplements is the best stuff on the market. But in reality, you get your nitrogen content from your meat and plants. There's no need for supplementation as far as nitrogen goes. The media is very much ahead of science in regards to supplements. Most of them are ineffective for performance, and over supplementation, like I said before, can cause health problems. Protein shakes, like you saw in the 3 days, we didn't have any protein shakes. There was no protein supplementation, with the exception of the power bars that are higher in carbohydrate content than they are protein content. We were focused on carbs to provide energy throughout the day, and the vitamins to provide muscle and bone development. So the protein is going to come. In those 3 days, if you look at your day, your sheet, your daily report, you'll see that your protein content is 300% the daily recommendation. You're taking in more protein than you need to already, and you haven't even touched the protein supplement. You can do it in a regular balanced diet. So keep that in mind. Don't spend so much money on supplementation when you could be going and spending that same money on organic foods and whole foods. They're going to have a much better effect on your body. Over supplementation puts stress on the liver and kidneys, like I said before. Too much protein gets stored as fat. Your body does convert excess protein into fat. It gets stored in adipose tissue. So a question is protein supplementation necessary during a weight training program? I just answered that question. Answer is no. Protein through diet is sufficient. Muscle cell is only 22% protein, right? The rest of it is made up of water, fat, and carbs. So that puts into perspective how important protein is. It's less than a quarter of the makeup of a muscle. So to re-emphasize the importance of carbohydrates, fats, and other minerals. If you do end up taking a protein because you can't or you don't have time to maintain a healthy diet, I suggest take a protein that provides all essential amino acids and includes protein and carbohydrates. The 4-to-1 ratio carbs to protein is a farce. It's not proven scientifically, but it is a helpful guideline if you want to stick to a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 ratio. You can go by that. Just don't take it as God's word. It has not been proven. All right. 20 grams of high quality protein per serving. That's what you're going to be looking for, and you want the amino acid table. Okay, you want to make sure that the 9 essential amino acids out of the 20, the ones that our body can't produce, are included in the protein. You want to, if you end up taking supplementation, I suggest doing it if you have to do it once a day. I do it right before bed. You know, eat right after you work out and right before bed, take a swig of protein, go to sleep, let your body rest. If you have to do it more than once a day, do it right before you sleep and right when you wake up. Okay? Just make sure you eat something, really eat real food after you work out. And you want to make sure you're taking small amounts of protein 5 to 6 times a day. So, and we did that through those 3 days worth of meals that I presented to you. There was a small amounts of protein 6 and 7 times a day, and that's how we obtain our protein recommendations. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. In conclusion, I'd like to re-emphasize the importance of going through the necessary steps for devising a training program. You know, laying out your energy needs, your energy expenditure, everything in that database that I mentioned earlier, the NutriCalc online database. If you can get access to it, I would recommend it. It helps out a lot. And then again, your resistance training program is separate from that, and your body measurements are separate from that. Something you got to really commit to doing on your own. Specific concepts of weight training. Remember your resistance theory, or the concept of overload, progression, periodicity, and specificity. We covered those earlier in the presentation. Remember how important those are. It helps in becoming stronger and increasing your lean mass. So if you keep those in mind and you keep a proper diet, you will see a difference in your weight and your physique. You will increase your lean muscle mass. The importance of a well-balanced diet, including all nutrients instead of just protein. We covered that, and I think I beat that up pretty hard during the presentation. It really is important. It's like I said, the lifting part, the workout part is minimal compared to the rest and the diet and gaining weight and gaining strength. It is more important to eat right than it is to work out for 2 or 3 hours a day. You know. But yeah, well-balanced diet. Weight gain on a cellular level, I hope with me going over that, it cleared some things up, and it enlightened you about the process which your body has to go through in order to recover. And hopefully it emphasized the importance of the carbohydrates and the vitamins and the nutrients as opposed to only protein. And then again, supplementation. Do it if you have to. There are some good products out there like creatine and branched-chain amino acid supplements if you can't get them through your diet. If you can't get them through your diet, you know, that's highlighted because, like we saw in the 3-day meal plan, if you can stick to a good balanced diet, you don't need protein added to your diet. You don't need to get branched-chain amino acid supplementation. You don't need to get vitamin B complex supplementation or other minerals and that kind of thing. You know, you go back, and I'm a real big fan of the paleo diet, but the reason is they didn't have anything back there. They had meat, they had grain, they had vegetables, they had fruits. They didn't have protein shakes. They didn't have little magic pills that you could pop. You know, the body, the human body, the human being was designed to hunt and gather. So I think we should get back to our roots a little bit more and really stick to the whole foods and the organic foods. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative, and good luck in the future. For those of you who received this presentation as part of your diet plan to help you out on your diet plan, if you've got this presentation, you've got my phone number, so call me if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.